Friends, why is it every time I'm trying to shoot a video outside, these here fellers crash the party? Okay, that's enough. Yeah, you guys. Got YouTube in the film here. Let's knock it off. Never know what's going to happen out here in the Canadian wilderness on the prairies. Anyhow, thanks, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. It never ends, friends. Okay, I think they're done. Back to the video. Bar oil is something most of us use. I know some guys use motor oil. Ugh. I hate working on those saws. They're so dirty. Oh my God. But anyways, for the rest of us that use bar oil is something we use and often we don't even pay attention to. Now, I met this fella in Ohio at Bunyan. His name's Scott. Scott gave us some bar oil to use while we were doing all that, shenanigans at the ripsaw tent. And first thing I noticed, the second day it was hot that we were there, and one thing I noticed, in a big buck, the bar didn't get hot. Now, for me, friends, it gets really hot here in the summer and also really cold. Summertime, bar oil is usually super thick. We have heavy bar oil and light bar oil here. And one thing I noticed about this bar oil, after a big buck, like a 36-inch plus piece of hard oak or hard maple, the bar didn't get hot. And I thought, wow, that's actually pretty impressive. So anyways, long story short, friends, Scott sent me some of this product to try because he found out that I live in Canada in cold. And I mentioned to him, how does this stuff work in the cold? And he made it sound like, hey, it works pretty good. So I said to him, well, maybe I could try some. No strings attached, friends. He sent me some product. And, well, I used it -10. You guys can see that bar is slippery and the oil is all over the chain. On a 32-inch bar, that bar, I believe, the oiler is opened up. So I will say that, but normal bar oil does not flow in this kind of weather. Let's go outside. I set up a light and I left a bottle of Scott's bar oil outside all day. It is -16, which is 3 degrees Fahrenheit. I will show you guys a screenshot so you know there's no trickery. Here's a screenshot taken when we were doing the test in Celsius. And here's Fahrenheit for my American buddies down south. Let's pour some of this DGP bar oil and let's pour some regular bar oil. I'm just curious. So I shot that video, what was that, a week ago? It was about -10. Not super cold for here, cold for some places. And I removed this bar off of that MS460. I want you guys to look. Can you see the oil on the chain? There it is, right there. Okay. Now, originally, I thought that this was sap burnt on. Sometimes you get the burnt bar look. Let's see if we can find it here. Right here, you can see it on this bar. See that? That looks like sap, because it is. But on this bar, look. Here, I'm just going to take this clean rag. Same thing you do in a cylinder. Look, friends. Got one little spot there. I think that was probably already there. Look. That is all oil on this bar. And again, you can see it. It's just gooped with oil. Look at the chain. Same thing. I'm going to wipe it here. The clean rag, and look, friends, that's oil. Let's see if we can get it, you guys in right here. Look, that's actually a film of oil on this bar. Look, there you go. It is, what, -5 Celsius in this shop. I think that's like in the 20s Fahrenheit, but you guys get the idea. It's not warm in here. You can see my breath. And again, that's the tip of the bar. And I just cut with this thing. You can see it was running down. I just cut with this thing. Look at that. Kind of crazy. Okay, so I set up a little bit of a test today. Here's this baroil, no trickery. It's sealed. I put it here this morning. It's been sitting outside. This right here is baroil, just my regular baroil that I poured out of a saw. Okay, what I want to do right now is do a cold weather pour test. Now, yes, it's -16 Celsius. This ain't cold for here. We get well into the -40s and sometimes even the -50s. Unlike most years, though, it's been warm here. This is the first winter we've had where it's actually cold enough that I want to start the test. I'm going to do a couple more videos on this. A cutting video in the cold. We do a lot of cold weather cutting here. You guys will notice I am a throttle blipper. Part of it is I'm a 5-year-old when I'm running a saw and I love to yin my saws. But when I first started cutting firewood, we cut a lot of wood in this kind of weather, wintertime. A lot of times it's easier to get into a cutting site where it's not muddy. The mud here, they call it Manitoba gumbo. It's clay and it'll suck your truck right in. So a lot of times guys cut in this kind of weather. It's cold, there's not a ton of snow on the ground, and a lot of guys are firewooding this time of the year. The problem with that is if it's cold out, even weather like today, if you don't blip your throttle, often the baroil will stick to your bar. Now, do I think this is going to happen today? No, this is -16, but I'm just curious. I've seen what it does to a bar in the hot, and now cutting in -10, I have a thin layer of oil, almost like a bottom end on a two-stroke. When I pull my saws apart, the reason why I use the two-stroke oil I do is it's got a thin layer of oil on the bottom end, and I like that. I think that means the oil's doing its job. Well, that bar is completely covered in oil and it's slippery, almost like you sprayed it with Pam, if I could explain it that way. Anyhow, friends, I'll stop my flapping. I'm going to bring you guys in, and again, this stuff has been sitting in my shop at about -5 Celsius. This stuff's been sitting outside at -16. Now, I've never done this. I'm going to do just a simple pour test and see how thick this stuff is getting. Again, this is DGP. This is biodegradable baroil. And Scott sent me this and said, try it. So far, I'm really impressed. But again, I want to see, does this stuff stay thin in the cold? I'm more concerned with cold weather performance than I am with hot weather, because we beat on this oil in Ohio doing big bucks in hard eastern hardwood, and this stuff kept the bar cold. So I already know it works in the hot weather. It doesn't work in the cold. First things first, I'm going to bring you guys in. I'm not going to cut it or do anything. I'm going to bring you guys in. And yes, you are plugged in, because when it's this cold out, them batteries are not happy. I'm going to bring you guys right in here. I don't even think I can turn my light on. I can't. So, what I'm going to do is, give me a second. Okay, guys, I got all kinds of light here. Let's take a standard bar oil and just pour it and see what it does. It's like molasses. Now, it's about a half a liter. And I dropped it on the ground, of course. Whoops. We're just going to roll with that, friends. Okay, look at this stuff. It's like molasses. Okay. Now think, it's only -16. What happens when it's -30? And we do run saws at that. Look, when you pour it, it holds its shape. Okay, this stuff will freeze. And remember, this came out of my shop at -5. Okay, look at that. It's stringy. You guys get the idea. Okay, when you pour it on there, it doesn't even flatten out for a bit. Okay, that's just a standard bar oil. I'm not putting a brand on it because it's just a bar oil that we'd all run. Well, my question is, you guys can see, taking the lid off. Now, I don't know. This is of interest to me. This stuff's still nice and thin. Look at that. It's pouring. You guys see that? Look. This stuff is already filled the bottom of the tray. Okay, can you guys see that? Look. This stuff. Look. I hope you guys can see this. This stuff, look. It hasn't even covered the whole bottom of the tray yet. Because it's like molasses. Okay, you guys see that? It's like a half an inch thick here. And look, when I dump it, look at that. It's like jelly. Okay, this stuff, look. I hope you guys can see this. It's gooey and tacky, but it's like, look at that. This stuff's very interesting. It smells good too. This stuff, look. I hope you guys can see the difference. This stuff's very thick already. Now, in cold weather, that's not a good thing because I'm telling you right now, this stuff does not flow well in cold weather. It just doesn't. It will stick to the bar. And, but it's what you got, right? And this is the thin, lightweight bar oil. This isn't thick bar oil, okay? The thick stuff's like taffy. Maybe I should get some of that. Okay, find this interesting. No, this ain't going to waste. I'm going to dump this into a saw, but I wanted you guys to check that out. And again, I could, you know, I like to show you guys this stuff because nobody's telling me what to show you. I'm doing this because I'm interested in it, because bar oil is something we all use. And I mean, there it is. Look. See that? It's congealing. The longer it sits out here, look at that, friends. And yeah, we got some snow on it, but snow's part of cutting, right? Look. See how thick that stuff is? I hope you guys can see this. Now, I think what I'm going to do, because it's going to get colder, I think I'm going to leave both of these here, friends. I'm going to put lids on them. And I'm going to leave these here for a couple days. We're supposed to get real cold, like into the minus 30s. I'm just curious to see what happens. Maybe this stuff will get thick. No, does this mean anything? I don't know. But to me, this oil's been sitting outside all day in minus 16. This has been sitting in my shop at minus 5. In fact, friends, I'm going to run in the shop right now and see the temperature. Sorry, I correct that. It is minus 2 in my shop, Celsius. So that's like 30, 28 Fahrenheit. And it is 2 to 3 Fahrenheit out here. So again, this stuff definitely is flowing better. I don't expect it to run like water, but I'm already seeing the difference where, again, the longer this stuff's outside, the more it's just turning into goo. Look at that. Anyhow, kind of interesting. Maybe it's not to some of you, but I'm nerding out right now. This stuff's pretty cool. And this may be a solution to a problem I've had since I've been cutting. Anyhow, let's go back in the shop. Well, I hope you guys found that kind of interesting. I met Scott, like I said, in Ohio, and he found out how cold it is here, and he was quite interested in having me try his oil. No strings attached. Which tells me he wants to know the limitations of his product in a real world environment. Few places get as cold as here. When it gets to be minus 30, minus 40, minus 50, I think minus 40 Celsius is where minus 40 Fahrenheit is, you know, somewhere they cross. But that's cold, friends. And I'm interested. Now, this oil, I already noticed that it flows better at minus 16. And again, it never even occurred to me. I was just trying my first little sample of that oil, and again, this stuff's slippery on here. It hit me like a sack of bricks when I was pulling that off, and I went, wow, this bar's oily. And then I realized. So, anyhow, I hope you find this kind of stuff interesting. I struggle with putting products on my channel because I don't want this channel to turn into an infomercial. Part of being a YouTuber is you get emails constantly, daily, weekly, monthly. People want to put their products on your channel. You know, hey, we have a blowtorch we're selling. Will you show it on your channel? And friends, I don't like doing any of that kind of stuff. Some people may say I'm silly, but I don't know. I'm old school. I'm a man of principle. I feel like you guys come here and I, you know, I can't just flog products on this channel. It doesn't feel right, and I've never done that. So when I'm testing something, friends, I'm testing it, and no strings attached. So I'm gonna see what that oil can do in cold weather. So far, I'm very impressed, and I'm sure I could potentially find a point where it won't flow. But let's find out how cold. It's kind of interesting to see already. So anyhow, friends, I'll stop flopping. Thanks for coming to hang out. Oh, on a personal note, my buddy Bucket hit 500,000 subs, and that's pretty cool. I've been watching him for 7 years, and you know, I've watched thousands of his videos. He's become a buddy of mine, and you know, on a personal note, I just want to thank everybody that, you know, supports us that make these videos. Thank you for letting us in your homes, and Bucket, congrats, buddy. Seriously. When I found you, I think you had 60,000 subs, and you're right about the size I am. And, you know, through hard work, being honest, and being kind, like he says, you know, you've gotten this far. So you've earned it, buddy. And I'm super, super proud of you and super happy for you. Anyhow, friends, thanks for watching. Take her easy. I think I'm going to do another question of the day video. I'm getting backed up again, and I think we'll do another one of those coming up. Also, I have another saw project that we're going to jump back into. I want to build another saw the same size as the 460. 460 is getting wrapped up wherever it is. It's on a shelf over there. I'm going to finish the paint on that saw, and I'm mailing it to Caleb. That saw runs perfect. It's strong. Super happy with it. And then I don't know where we're going to go, friends. We have so many saws to do. Part of me says port this farm saw. This 2100 is dying to be ground on, but maybe I'll do the 357. I got so many saw projects, and who knows where we're going to go, friends. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.